Gerard Butler wants to live in it. The Don wants to buy it. But should you watch it? Tonight's review is for Greenland 2, the sequel to Greenland 1, or technically known Greenland. It follows the Garrity family after the events of the first movie, where a comet has wiped out most of the world. In this movie, they leave the safety of their Greenland bunker to traverse the shattered world, searching for a new home. We'll answer the questions of if you need to see the first movie, and more importantly, should you even watch this one? This will be a spoiler-free review, so let's get into it. To be honest, this movie was kinda rough for me. That doesn't necessarily mean that you shouldn't watch it, though. So, starting off with the good. Gerard Butler carries this film. He plays the stoic father archetype very well, which, funny enough, I didn't realize he voiced Stoic in How to Train Your Dragon, and it seems that he has been typecast as the father figure that has the heart of gold and does everything to protect his family, and he continues that role very well in this movie. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of emotional depth to this character, but there doesn't really have to be. Next good thing, there are some shots in this movie that are beautiful. There's the space scene where they've come out of the bunker for the first time in years. They look up at the sky. There's no light pollution, and you can see the stars, other galaxies. And you know what? I am a sucker for anything in space. As a kid, I would go to NASA's website, download all their space pictures, and just have them be my revolving desktop background. And you know what? This scene actually made me feel something inside, very briefly. Now, to answer the question of if you need to see the first movie before this one. Due to a time constraint, I only watched the first 30 minutes of the first one in preparation. And from what I can tell, it's not really necessary. They explain what happened in the previous one during a flashback during the first couple minutes, so, you don't necessarily need to. But now we get to the bad. You may not actually want to watch the first one before this, because you will be very disappointed when you do get to this one. In the first one, it has a much tighter script, the characters are more interesting and compelling, and in the second one, all of the characters are pretty flat. The story is a lot of this thing happened, then this thing happened, then this thing happened, and, while the scenes in isolation can be interesting and suspenseful, I never really felt attached to any of the characters, and never really cared whether they lived or died. It feels kind of inconsequential, and the movie does, you know, feel that way too about their own characters, where they'll start to build an emotional connection with another character, and then the movie just kills off that other character, and then no one seems to be bothered or feel anything about it, mention it later. And so, I, as an audience member, also am not compelled to feel anything about these characters. And the plot feels very paint by the numbers. Most of the characters feel like NPCs in video games, where either they're antagonistic for the sake of having villains or like cannon fodder for the main character, or they, will send the main character on a quest or help them out and give them, resources because the Garrity family is the main character in this movie video game thing. And so it kind of just felt like I was watching a compilation of video game cutscenes where I haven't built any resonance with any of these characters because I haven't, experienced any heartache or challenge with them. I'm just seeing kind of the things that happen step by step. Another thing I want to mention is that this has a PG-13 rating, but the subject matter can be kind of scary. I don't think it deserves an R rating, but I definitely wouldn't bring younger kids to see it. And as I mentioned, the characters are so nonchalant about death that as a kid, I would probably have kind of a hard time grasping, that emotion and that nonchalance about people dying. And, this might even be a challenge for some younger teens. So take that into consideration when going to the movies. So the final question, should you see Greenland 2 in theaters? I personally gave this movie 2.5 stars out of 5. 2 for Gerard Butler's performance, and an extra half star for that space scene. I would say that it might be worth it for the spectacle of some of these scenes, especially on the big screen with, good sound system, but I probably would only go on a discount day if your theater has it. Otherwise, I'd probably wait for streaming, start it, see after 20 minutes if you're vibing with it, and then you can continue or not. And because I'm not giving this a recommend, I don't want to leave you empty handed. So here are some of my picks that are similar enough to Greenland 2, but movies I would actually recommend. First, if you have younger kids, I would probably recommend a movie like Wall-E. It has that space theme, that apocalyptic theme, the journey of trying to find a better world, and, all around very solid Pixar movie. If you're a teen looking for a fun natural disaster end of the world movie that's kind of campy, I'd recommend 2012. That one's pretty fun. And then for the adults, I would recommend 28 Days Later if you haven't seen it for a good apocalyptic zombie movie. Or if you're really looking for that episodic human conflict movie that goes somewhere, but it's not really consequential along the way, Civil War was decent enough. Didn't love it, but it fits that vibe very well. So, as of recording, 88% of Google users liked Greenland 2. So, maybe I'm missing something here where I'm in that other 12%. So, let me know in the comments below if you've seen it, you liked it, you disagree, you agree, and if other people should watch it. Anyways, thanks for watching. And if I don't see you around, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.